Good morning, everybody, and this is your SP 500 setups for today. So we have cleared the first weekly level, which was this first attempt at the swing high, which is at 47.43. We've broken up above 47.50 and closed above it on the daily, so that is a fairly significant event. All-time high is at 48.17. I reckon that's still incoming this week. Wouldn't surprise me to see us get above it by Friday. Now, the minute we get down to the lower time frames, you're going to see a little bit of structure forming, but that structure could be for either direction. So we are extremely overbought, and if you look at this on the daily, you're going to see how overbought we are on the daily as well. So not quite parabolic, but it's pretty much in a straight line since October. So for us at the moment, what we're looking for is opportunities to go with the trend, but you need to keep those stops really tight. So dropping down to 3 hour, which is your cue, just to hit that like button for us. And we've got one level that comes into play, that's at 47.54. I would keep 47.50 in the back of my head as well. Nothing else that we need to worry about there. In fact, I just want to go back. This is going to be complicated. Let's just see if we can get it right. So if you're looking here on the weekly, here on the 28th of November towards December, and we just drop down through the time frames. Oh, you see what I mean by being difficult. This MT5 sometimes, MetaTrader 5 sometimes just creates endless havoc in your life. So what I want to get to here is, you see here, this is this little range which made up that all-time high. And you can see the significance of these two levels here at 47.54 and 47.43. You can see how we flirted with that. So that is fairly strong. So I'd expect us to come back to that. Now, the other thing that I just want to put in is this here. You can see we've cleared these two tails, but here are the other two tails. So other than that, there's nothing really there. You can probably drop down to the 3 hour in the same space, and you'll see there's just a lot of tails in here. So what that's telling us is that between 47.78 and the all-time high, which is a little bit higher than that, it's over there at 48.21, there is a lot of sideways price action here and quite a few tails. And as you go down through the time frames, you're going to see a lot of structure forming in this space. So just be wary of that. And if you look at it here, there's absolutely nothing going on, but there's definitely a hell of a lot going on there. Right, so 1 hour is what we're looking for, and we need to bring in the 1 hour level, which is right there. That is my first line in the sand, which is 47.68. Now bear in mind, look at the oscillators, all grouped to the upside, extremely overbought. You don't really want to be jumping in long up here. You want to wait for a pullback onto structure, but the last couple of days it's been one-way traffic. You sort of get every time, you get an opportunity at the open typically, and it's a very quick one, and you need to be in on it and take it with both hands. So here was the open, and if you just look through, yeah, you can see not really onto structure. There's the first one here. Let's just use a level so you can see it. So there's the first one. Okay, you can see price came past, came back down, didn't quite get that. That was at 47.50, but 47.50 being a round number, often this is what happens at round numbers. And if I keep going left and I just look for something here, you see there's nothing. But nevertheless, 47.50 was definitely something to pay attention to. But if I drop down to the 1 hour, to the 5 minute, you will see there is one little bit of structure here. There's a whole lot happening in this space. You can see there, not quite what we're looking for. There's a little range bar there, but you see there is definitely structure there. So just have a look at this on the 5 minutes. You can see all over the place, and then at the open, solid down, inside bar, 150 EMA is here, oscillators group to the downside, there is structure here. So your entry would have been just above this with a stop there. That's a 31 point stop loss for a phenomenally quick move to the upside. So there are definitely moves. You just need to be patient for them. So this is the first one I'm looking at, 47.68. I'd want to see price come back to this and sort of test this environment before getting back into this. Please bear in mind that there's a gap there, there's a gap there, there's a gap there, there's a tiny gap there, there's another gap there, there's a gap there. So just be wary of that. There's a whole lot of gaps. So moral of the story is quite simple. I want to see price come back onto structure. This is the closest bit of structure we have, is 47.68. If something else happens today, then 47.56, 47.50 is another area that may be tested. Although I think this is a solid enough retest yesterday on the 15 minutes, so I don't think it's going to fall that far. But we're looking for price to come back down and then move to the upside. Now, if we just use this level, it could also use this 47.72 as an area of support as well. Let's bear in mind you've got a little bit of overhead resistance here, 47.78. So yeah, clear that. There are a couple other bits of tails in between 47.78 and 48.21, but I think the bulk of it is here. So this is the underside of that range that I just showed you. So the range sits in here, and this is the underside of it, all the tails that are dipping down into the underside of it. So I think if you do have the time, watch the 5 minutes, but do it at the open. Don't try and fiddle with this during the European Open, sorry. Wait for the US Open and then figure it out. Get down to the 5 minutes, and then you should see something similar to this. You should see the 5 minute come onto a level, big engulfing bar. You can either take it on, sort of the first, above the break of the first bar, or wait for the confirmation. That's your confirmation bar, then jump in and take it from there. But I think that to me is the closest bit of structure that I'd be looking at, which is 47.68. But then you also need to pay attention to this area here at 47.72. I think this is one-way traffic. We are looking for the all-time high, and we're looking for it this week as far as I'm concerned. Okay, anyway, that's kind of me for today. Hope it helps, and we'll catch up with you tomorrow. Cheers for now.